think we're going live. We are live.
All right. At 7 o'clock p.m., I call the meeting to order for the July 24th World School District regular board meeting. Roll call. We have all 7 board members present. Would everyone stand, please, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item would be approval of our agenda. Is there a motion to approve our agenda tonight?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded by members Johnson and member Sheehan to approve the agenda for the evening. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll then move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda is approved. Thank everyone for coming tonight and being here in person, as well as those who are joining us online this evening. So thank you for coming as visitors to the board meeting. With that, then we'll enter the public forum section where we'll be, that's placed on the agenda for our regular board meetings. During this part of each board meeting, times allowed for district constituents to address the school board. Pursuant to policy 206, section 6, the board will make every effort to allow district constituents to speak, but may limit discussion to ensure all business is addressed for the interest of the district. This is a time of listening by the school board. Is there anyone present that would like to address the board this evening? Okay, with that, we will move on to consent items. One motion is needed to approve all the consent items. We have approved bills for payment. You can also, as well as the minutes to be approved from June 26th, our regular meeting, and the July 6th special board meeting. Any item that's requested to be removed from the consent agenda by a school board member will be discussed and acted on for independent consideration immediately following approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved, Buchtel.
Is there a second?
Second.
So it's been moved by member Buchtel and seconded by member Bowen. Any discussion?
I have one question. Going back to the policy 516.5, the overdose medication that we visited
Yep.
about last time. My question is for the staff that would be performing a rescue effort on someone who would OD, would they be covered by the Good Samaritan law?
They are.
They
Yep.
are. Okay, I just wanted to make sure for their sake, so.
Yeah, no, they're covered with that, and the substance, the Narcan or naloxone as the other name for it, if you give it to someone that isn't suffering from an overdose, it doesn't harm them at all. So I think that's why they're willing to do this.
Okay, any other questions? Discussion? All right. With that, we'll move to vote. All in favor of approving the 3 consent items, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. All right, on to section 7, personnel. Item 1, approve hiring Dustin Caspers as the head wrestling coach for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
Second, Buchtel.
It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Buchtel to approve hiring Dustin Caspers as the head wrestling coach for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion?
No, I just want to thank him for stepping up and doing this.
Mhm.
I think it was a struggle to find somebody, so.
Any other discussion? All right, with that, we'll move to vote. All in favor of approving hiring Dustin Caspers as the head wrestling coach for the 2023-2024 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item, approve Madeline Wilkins as the choir/music teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Benson.
Okay, it's been moved by member Bowen and seconded by member Benson to approve Madeline Wilkins as the choir music teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we will move to vote. All in favor, say aye to approve Madeline Wilkins as the choir music teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Item number 3, approve Ella Richards as the school counselor/career readiness teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by member Sheehan and seconded by member Johnson to approve Ella Richards as the school counselor career readiness teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion on this item?
I'll just jump in here real quick and say that we're going to fund this position with ESSER dollars, and we're hopefully going to be able to, we will be able to continue this forward in the future because the state of Minnesota did pass a law supporting those funds going into the future up to $45,000. So this is going to be good. She's going to actually be covering some of the business side of things that we're still unable to find a business teacher, as well as being a counselor, which will help free up Brett and Missy in the office. So
Awesome.
And what grade levels would she be available to for being a counselor?
I'm gonna. Is it
512.
512?
5 through 12. Okay. Any other discussion, questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to vote. All in favor to approve Ella Richards as the school counselor, career readiness teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 4, approve Melissa Hanze as the yearbook advisor for the 2023 through 2024 school year.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
You did, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved by member Jacobs and seconded by member Buxel to approve Melissa Hanze as the yearbook advisor for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. All in favor to approve Melissa Hanze as the yearbook advisor for the 2023 through 2024 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to section 8, our reports. So the first would be our superintendent report.
Yep, I don't really have much to put on here in this month. We've got a review and comment, did get off to the Department of Ed. And if there's any questions on that. The only other thing I've got is we have, every year we go out for milk bids, and we have 3 companies we bid or have them bid for us, and nobody's accepting our milk bid. We're too far away for Kemp's, and I don't know the details on everything else, but right now we don't have a milk person. So if we're looking at ways to remedy that, we by law have to have milk at lunch. It's a federal law. I mean, if we can't get it, we can't get it. But
Does your food provider maybe have milk? I know we have Cisco and they do.
I'm going to assume Margaret looked at that, but I will. Yeah. So, who delivers your milk?
Well, we had Nissens.
Oh, yep. Well, we can
Yeah.
talk later.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't do that for the schools anymore.
Oh, doesn't?
We've talked about maybe B&D.
Yeah.
What are the neighboring districts doing?
Do you know, Amy, what the neighboring?
One for sure, I know it's going to bulk milk, and so they would have to have bulk milk machines along with coolers to hold in their 45-pound containers of milk that they'd have to get hoisted up, and then the machines to do it, glasses, someone to observe it, and things like that. So that's what some of the districts are going to. And the other one that didn't bid that normally does, we're not sure why yet. So we're waiting to get back from the state of what our options are when we don't get it.
All right, that's what I've got.
Okay, I have a question. So
Mhm.
we already sent the review and comment out
Yes.
to the.
Yep.
Okay, so I just have a couple comments because I, obviously looked this over. So it says on here, who is the third-party assessment of the district's facilities in terms of the deferred maintenance needs?
Yes, I'm not confident on an answer with that right now.
Okay. And it said in here also, well, that Nexus did the assessment?
Yep.
On the facilities. Did anybody else do the assessments on the facilities besides Nexus?
We had subject matter experts, so we had a whole litany of different architects, engineers, and specialists as part of the team.
There were a lot of people, yeah.
So everybody looked at what their specialty was. One person looks at the roofs, right? Electrical engineer looks at electrical systems.
And that was through Nexus?
Yeah.
That was through Nexus?
We hired us to-
Okay. Then, do we get a license stamp on that? Are we gonna get a license stamp from Nexus?
Yes, so anything that's licensed or anything that requires a professional license stamp, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I had a couple more questions here. Hang on a second. Oh, so my other question was, I looked in my folders and stuff when I was going through this to go through the review and comment. And I ran across this letter from the Bold Citizens for Progress that was dated February 16th, 2021. And in it, I'll skip down a few paragraphs, but it says, the district's residents, this is Bold school board members and the superintendent at the time and the principals. It says, the district's residents want a fair, unbiased facilities assessment to be completed that has the following components. 1, conducted by experienced and licensed professionals that are not tied to the architect or the construction management of the solution offered. 2, list the names of the experienced and licensed professionals and signed credentials. 3, accurate and itemized cost estimates for each area. 4, seek low cost and effective remedies that are not cutting corners. And in this paragraph, it says this assessment should be done by individuals and or a firm that is independent of the companies that will oversee bidding on the architectural or construction management for a long-term facility solution. We ask that Bold does not enter into a contract or a renew with a company equivalent to what we did before with ICS until an unbiased facility plan is put into place. And this was signed by the chairperson for the Bold Citizens for Progress, which was Todd Frank. This is a letter that was sent by you. So that's why I'm asking that question, if it was an unbiased assessment.
I think we worked hard at the beginning of this, and you were part of the facilities process. I handed it over to you guys, and I feel confident with what Randy, Todd, I'm sorry, Greg and Pat and Ellie and what they did here. I think we did a fantastic job vetting these companies out, and they're the ones that are going to have to do the evaluations anyway, so that they know what they're getting into. I don't know if you guys want to add.
I guess I would just add that I do feel very unbiased. I don't think there's any bias there. I think, granted, these are cost estimates. So when this goes out for bids, the goal is to get at least 3 bids on each trade. And those are all up for all of us to review as facility members. So I think at the end of the day, it's our facility members' job to make sure there's no bias as we review all those bids. I like the format. I like how it's laid out. It gives us the control to look at all those bids and reject or say, no, we don't like them. And we don't need to limit with 3. We could ask for as many as we could get possibly, to do that. that, so I feel confident in that.
Okay.
myself.
And I'm very, very happy to have worked with you and Greg on the facility committee, and I feel very confident having you on there. I just wanted to reiterate this because this is what the Bold Citizens for Progress asked for before, and I want to make sure we were doing exactly the same thing.
Absolutely, I think it's great to reiterate that in the public forum as well, so you
Okay.
can answer that question, so. I agree.
Couple other questions really quick. So on the review and comment, I don't know if you guys have any questions about it when you went through it. Are we gonna need to do an excess levy over and above the 39,950 to finish out like the playground and the track? That's not on here. And is,
The
are-
track is on there. Thought I saw the track on there.
No, the track.
Resurface,
The track,
resurfacing the track.
Uh-uh.
That was being paid for out of LTFM.
Okay.
so that's not part of the referendum?
no, we're gonna take care of the track. The pool and the track aren't part of the referendum, but they will get taken care of.
So will we be using the one-time no vote excess levy for operations? Will we need that since we're still running in the red? Will we be going to the community
I'm not
for
su-
that?
What's the question?
Will we be going to the community with our, well, we won't have to go to the community. We can do a one-time no vote levy option. Will we,
That's on an existing levy though.
will we need that? That's my question. Will we need that moving forward with this referendum for operations? Because if we're going to use the LTFM, the long-term facility maintenance monies to do the playground,
The playground is gonna be ESSER funds.
okay. So the reason I'm asking these questions is because my understanding was the long-term facility maintenance monies were supposed to be for replacements and upkeeping of buildings and for like roofing and stuff, which makes me concerned because we're doing the 12-year Fortis roofing. After 12 years of patching, because we're not doing any complete roofing, right, with the Fortis?
It's not completely decided, we're still actually looking at the Fortis option, as far as I know, I mean, nothing's been
Okay.
really voted on,
Okay.
so it's still an option.
Okay, so that was my question, because after 12 years, and if it's just being patched for 12 years, we have a shot roof. Now we're gonna be replacing it in 12 years. If we're using our LTFM funds for doing this other stuff, we have no schedule monies in there for that replacement of that roof or any other roofs after that 12-year period. I'm a little concerned about that. And my other concern is the ESSER funds being used for playground, because I would think as a board, we would like to revisit the interventionists again, because we might need one, maybe even two more on top of what we have. I have a niece that works in the cities, and she felt that we're really shortchanging ourselves by going with one interventionist. So those are my concerns that, from looking at this. So that's,
Are you done?
yep, I'm done.
Okay, now I got a question. Okay, I'm looking on page 18 of the review and comment. I just have some questions on here where you have, okay, I know you just, it's not specific, and I just maybe want a little bit more specifics on here. The furniture and equipment. Are we replacing all the furniture and equipment in the building or just certain spots?
Certain slots.
Okay, so we have new upgraded stuff already. We
Yes.
just need to replace and catch
Yeah.
up.
Yep, we've actually started that process.
Well, and I know you talked about it before, but I just didn't know how much.
Yep.
Okay, then the space remodeling would be like this end down here. That's the space remodeling part. The new addition would be in the upper northwest corner.
A couple places, the northwest
And
corner,
then-
and then
Yep, up,
southeast corner,
yep, over by the
and then
pool.
front entrance to the new office.
Okay, and contingency, what do you mean by that?
Contingency, if we've all been dealing with inflation.
Okay, so basically,
So if you need it, or it's your money, so if, during the design phase, the design community comes up with another idea, oh, wow, we really should do this one, over here.
we've got extra in there. Okay. Professional fees and general requirements is basically your fees then?
It's for the structural engineers, architects, civil engineers, it's for all of them, yeah.
Okay, so that's about 11.4% of the total
And then
project.
the general requirements is things like temporary fencing, temporary barriers, dumpsters, toilets, and all that stuff there.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Does that include like wheelbarrows and stuff? The reason I'm asking about wheelbarrows on site and that, because I had spoken with Bob Brown a while back, and he said to make sure when you go into a referendum with a company, he said he was the one that mentioned to me about doing the 2D and 3D renderings. You have to make sure you have that. And he said, like, a lot of times they'll charge extra fees to have a wheelbarrow on site and leaving extra materials. You guys don't do that? And meals, extra meals and all that, that's all included?
That's all in the contractor's bids.
Okay, and so one last question touching on what Sandy said is, so with the furniture and equipment, is that going to be enough to fully redo our science labs, our technology lab, our fitness and training rooms? Will they all be, and our,
Yeah, any areas that are new, like
New?
new fitness room or new commons,
okay,
that's what that furniture.
okay. I just want to make sure that covered that.
Any other questions on the MDA report or review and comment that was submitted?
I understand what she's saying about looking, or Teresa's talking about looking at, we're gonna have to ask for more money and maybe this other position too. And I think that's something we just gotta keep an eye on it as we go along, to pre-do before you know what you're dealing with. Would be kind of tough to.
Yeah,
set
no,
these.
these interventionist positions are excellent,
Mhm.
and it's going to really help us out a lot. It was hard enough to get one, so but if we can get more, certainly a possibility if we feel that we need it. But I rely on Brett to make that call. He's in the trenches over there.
One comment on where you talked about the roofs. Or then you're right, after the 12 years, if it's a 12-year warranty, they can look at the roofs again and possibly extend some of the warranties on those. Well, not all of them be done. They can be looked at again by this company.
And then what happens if one has to be
Warranty can
totally
extended
replaced?
on those roofs.
What happens if a roof has to be totally replaced? Then you have to have
Mine-
LTFMs in there.
Yeah, then we'd have to. Yeah,
So we should
That's
really,
something that you guys should be looking at over the 12 years to build that fund up.
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Or
And
whether or not we have to ask for more money from the community right now, is all I'm saying is let's wait and see where we're at to know what you would have to ask the community for.
I think right now we're good to move forward. It's important for us to watch though, moving into the future. That's sort of how we got into this predicament, and it was before we were around. So, but we can learn from that lesson.
Anything else before we move on? Okay, so we do not have a report from our K-12 principal, no activities report. Our community education report is enclosure number 3 in the packet. As always, you can always ask questions of Barry. Any questions on the community ed report? Okay. Then we'll move on to item E, which is our pool report, enclosure number 4 in the packet. So as always, Tracy is available with a phone call or email if any questions for anybody. So are we still looking at this week of the approximate arrival of that walk-in cooler?
We haven't heard any differently, so yes,
Okay.
it's still going to be another month before there's water in there.
Okay.
We do have some swimming lessons that are going to be available. We're going to be busing kids over to Renville. So there is a swimming option right now.
Okay. Then moving on to our facilities report from Denny, that's enclosure number 5 in our packet. Any questions on this report? Okay. Hearing none, we will, are there any school board reports from committees?
don't think we
I
had
don't think there
anyone.
will be, but
Yep.
I'm gonna ask. Okay,
I would like to say one thing.
Yes.
I want to read this. It's been bugging me for a while. And I hope I can get through this. A couple of weeks ago, Jamie Boleen was allowed to come to the board meeting and mention one of our board members that should not have been allowed as per our policy 206, which states the school board shall, as a matter of policy, protect the legal rights to privacy and due process of employees and students. We as board members are employees of the school. Unless this policy is followed, then we set a precedence to the behavior that we will allow at the meetings. Therefore, I believe it was a little unfair and the policy was not followed. I would like to personally apologize to Teresa because I was one of those sitting here that night and did not stop her. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and I personally apologize for any harm it may have caused you. That's all I got.
Following up on that, I personally think, as a board member, letter to the editors are cowardly, and we shouldn't be doing that. If you have a problem with the board, talk to them directly. That's my personal feeling.
But it started at that meeting.
It started
That's-
before that meeting,
We allowed that at that meeting.
but the letter to the editor was before that,
I'm gonna end this conversation
and that's fine.
on this right now so that, one, for two reasons. One, that nothing is said that can't be taken back by anyone at this point. And two, for the fact that there is a protocol for airing grievances, and civility says it should be done in a one-on-one manner with individuals. Okay, let's move on to new business.
I need to respond to that.
We're moving on to new business, Teresa. I don't want you to be put in a position, or anyone else, that something is stated that shouldn't be. We can have a discussion, you and I, one-on-one after. New business. Item A, approve the 2023 through 2024 elementary school handbook. It's enclosure number 6 in our packet. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I will second it.
It's been moved by member Bucktel and seconded by member Johnson to approve the 2023 through 2024 elementary school handbook. Is there any discussion?
I didn't really see any changes. There was, I mean, unless they just weren't highlighted.
Just a
It was,
lunch, because that's
okay.
weight. No, Margaret had the weight on what the like extras would be.
Okay.
That's not the elementary, but more of the high school side, so that's basically the only
Okay.
change.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will move to vote. All in favor of approving our 2023 through 2024 elementary school handbook, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B under new business, approve the 2023 through 2024 middle high school student handbook. That's enclosure number 7 in our board packet.
So move, Benson.
Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Sheehan to approve our 2023 through 2024 middle high school student handbook. All in favor, say aye. Or I'm sorry. we're not to vote. Is there any discussion? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, Teresa.
Looking at the Pledge of Allegiance and the way it's worded, I think it should be worded exactly how it's worded in the elementary handbook. In the elementary handbook, it says the Pledge of Allegiance is said every morning at the Bold Elementary School. Anyone who does not wish to participate in the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance for any personal reason may let staff know of this wish and then sit or stand silently during the pledge. The other students and staff members must respect the right to that choice. What it says in the high school one is the Pledge of Allegiance is said at both schools. It does not state that it is said every morning by the high school. And I wish that would be in there the same way so that it is said by the high school. There's a difference in the wording.
I can put it in. No problem.
Thank you. And then my other one is cell phone use. I think it's wonderful that cell phones for calls, texting, and music or searching the web is not allowed in the classrooms. My question is it enforced and how? And I looked at page 17, number 5B, page 17, 6F, and page 19, number C, or letter C. And let's see, I'll look that up here quick so I'm not gonna just, okay. What I was hoping that would be in there is cell phone use for calls, texting, music, or searching the web is not allowed in classrooms. Students causing a disruption to the educational process will be subject to disciplinary action. I'm wondering if that shouldn't be in there for the teacher's sake. So if it does become a problem, the parents and the students know that they'll be subject to disciplinary action and or, where was the 19C? Oh, and the 19C just lists all the disciplinary action. I don't know if it's a really big problem, if you just don't want it to be a big problem, if they know there's going to be disciplinary action, maybe that'll just.
So at the beginning of the year, it was more of an issue. But the first time it's brought to the office and the student can pick it up at the end of the day. The second time it's brought to the office, a phone call goes home to parents and it's a detention. And then it just keeps going on.
Okay. And I think those were the only two things that I saw on there. My only other thing that I saw on both of them is that, all the students will be getting free lunches. Does that include children that bring their own lunch to school? Do they have to purchase milk or is their milk free?
I believe their milk is
It was
free.
free during the COVID time.
Okay, because it
I'm
tells.
pretty sure it still is free. I'm not 100% positive. Amy? Okay.
It talks about the meal charging procedure. Are you just going to leave that in there even though it's not going to be?
Yeah, until we get the extras, I just took out the lunch prices would be this. But yeah, the procedures are the same. It's just, I gotta wait for the extras before I can put it in.
All right. That was all my questions.
Okay. Is there any other discussion on changes or questions on the middle and high school student handbook? Okay. With that, then we'll move to vote as there's no more questions. So, all in favor of approving the 2023 through 2024 middle high school student handbook with the suggested changes to Brett said would go in. All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, so discuss our resolution for the November 7th, 2023 election. This is enclosure 8. So just want to spend some time going through and discussing this and give the board and community time to digest this.
And in the meantime, we did put out made copies of a new version of that. Just we noticed a couple errors after we got it. We didn't have time to fix them last week before I emailed it out. So we corrected wording in that first full sentence, a special meeting held on August 7th. that was just procedural stuff. Another thing to note in here, something that we didn't realize the importance of is every November, it appears in the past, the board has voted to consolidate polling places. And we didn't have an election coming up. I'm new, Amy's new. We didn't realize the importance of this. So we have two options in here. On page 3, it says, use this language below if combined polling places are permitted. And then on page 4, you'll see it says use language below if combined polling places are not permitted. We're bringing this to court to see if the county would be willing to allow us to consolidate polling places. It's going to save us a lot of money if they allow us to do this. And then we're going to make sure that every November we do this. You have to do it before the following school year. And again, I apologize. I did not know the significance of not having that in there. It was actually Ryan Fetters, who you may talk to here, sitting in the back there. He explained the importance of this. Do you want to say it? You can say this better than I can.
Sure. So, and Andrea may be on there too. So Andrea's an attorney. I'm Ryan Fetters. I'm with the Utility Municipal Advisor for the district. So every year, I believe it's before December 31st of every year, we want to go ahead and pass, whether you have an election or anything else, just to make sure it's done, is to have a combined polling resolution passed. And that way you can consolidate the number of polling stations that you have to have open during any kind of event. And so in this case, you would be drastically reducing the number you have that have to be open down to a much smaller number. And it just has less cost to do that.
Yeah, and Andrea, I apologize. I don't see a face for you, so I completely forgot that you're patiently sitting there online. Is there anything you want to add to that? Andrea is our attorney who's working with this right now.
Not a problem at all. I am listening very carefully here, and I concur with everything that Ryan said. You are certainly not the first district to miss this one, and it's kind of a difficult statute, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen. And I wish there were savings language in the legislation, in the statute itself, but there isn't. There is talk of getting that in place, but there's not time to do that right before this November. So, we did prepare the election resolution with sort of an alternative, because we don't know exactly what the timing will be if it is approved, and if it's not, we have to go with what's required by the law. So I realize it's a bit confusing, but it allows for the election resolution to be considered on the 7th if we're not quite there yet, and then not have to come back to the board for a subsequent amendment. So it attempts to address, whichever scenario we end up in.
And again, it'll save us a lot of money. So hopefully we're able to get that through.
Any questions from the board on the potential resolution?
Brent, do you have anything you want to add on this? Okay.
Okay, with that.
Quick question, is this lady our school attorney, or what is she?
No.
What, attorney for the elections?
We've been working with Ryan Fetters through Baker Tilly. They're our municipal advisor for this, and she is commissioned by them to help work with us.
Gotcha. I was a little confused because I didn't see anything on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? Okay, before we move on to D, I just want to make another statement back to previous about discontinuing the discussion. We had the opportunity to amend our agenda before, and that wasn't part of our agenda. So that was another main reason why I discontinued that. Okay. All right, let's now move on to item D under new business, set a special meeting date to approve resolution for November 7th, 2023 referendum election. The date recommended is Monday, August 7th, 2023 at 7:00 PM. Is there a motion?
I make the motion.
Is there a second?
I can second it.
So it has been moved by member Sheehan and seconded by member Johnson to have a special meeting of the Bold School Board on August 7th, 2023 at 7:00 PM to approve the resolution for November 7th, 2023 referendum election. Any discussion? Okay. I'll just make one comment. If you're unable to attend that meeting, I would appreciate an email or a phone call to Jim or myself at least 2 or 3 days before, barring an emergency situation, so that we can ensure we have quorum. Any other discussion? Okay, with that, we'll move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. All right, item E under new business, approve the 2023 through 2024 Rendell County Public Health Services Agreement for early childhood screenings agreement. That's enclosure number 9 in our packet.
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved by member, is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by member Buchtel and seconded by member Bowen to approve the 2023 through 2024 Rendell County Public Health Services Agreement for early childhood screenings agreement. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item F. Approve a 2-year contract for the 2023 through 2024 and 2024 through 2025 school years for James Menton, Superintendent. That's enclosure number 10 in our packet. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Johnson and seconded by member Buchtel to approve a 2-year contract for the 2023 through 2024 and 2024 through 2025 school year for James Menton, Superintendent. Any discussion?
I have a question. Does anybody need to refrain or abstain from voting because of friendships or relationships with Mr. Menton?
Are you referring to?
For conflict of interest, yeah.
Is what you're referring to?
Just asking.
You can narrow that down. I mean, if I golf with him, my friend.
It's on your conscience. You have to decide for yourself.
If that's the case, okay.
So Todd, you're going to abstain?
Nope, I'm not done.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing no more questions on the contract, we'll move to vote on the contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. The contract is approved for the 2023 through 2024 and 2024 through 2025 school year for James Benton Superintendent. All right, item G under new business. That would be reapprove the purchase agreement for the property we are selling, Splash Island. This is enclosure number 11 in our board packet. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by member Bowen and seconded by member Johnson to reapprove the purchase agreement for the property we are selling to Splash Island. Is there any discussion?
This is nearly identical to the purchase agreement we approved in September of 2 years ago. The problem was that we only approved it for 18 months. So it's been more than 18 months now. So we have to get this reapproved. But the only thing we've actually added onto that now is the tract description, which we did not have at the time the last time we got that through.
Any other questions? Okay, with that, we'll move to vote. All in favor to reapprove the purchase agreement for the property we are selling to Splash Island, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. All right. Item H would be our second reading of policy 501, our school weapons policy. So the next, let's see, we're in July. So the August meeting, we will do our final reading of policy 501. So are there any comments or discussion on the policy? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item I under our new business. That will be our second reading of policy 502, the student search of student lockers, desks, personal possessions, and student person. Enclosure number 13. Same thing applies. This is our second reading of the policy. So next month at the August meeting, we would read it and move to approve that policy. Any questions or discussion on the policy? All right. Then let's move on to item J. That's our setting our event prices for the 2023 through 2024 school year. So student admission for grades K through 12 would be $5 for events, and adult admission would be $7 for events. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Buchtel and seconded by member Bowen to set our event prices for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Our student admission grades K through 12 will be $5 and adult admission will be $7. Any discussion on those items? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Okay, item K, that would be to approve the student directory information notice. That's enclosure number 14 in our packet. Is there a motion?
So move, Benson.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Sheehan to approve the student directory information notice. Any discussion?
This is a yearly thing. We do this every summer. Without it, it would be tough to publish programs for sporting events and things like that.
Okay, any other questions? All right, with that, then we'll vote on approving the student directory information notice. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We've approved the student directory information notice. So, upcoming dates, item 10, first would be our, it's on here, is August 28th, 2023 school board meeting at 7:00 PM in the district office. The other item would be our August 7th, 2023 special meeting at 7:00 PM here in the district office. So those are the two upcoming dates. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Johnson and seconded by member Benson to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at
8:50. Well,
7:52.
7:52.
7:52.
7:52. That was fast. That's the fastest we've had in a while.
What? Oh, you're up.
Go on.
Do it.